The IRA time bomb. You've spent years saving in your IRA, but what if I told you it could be the worst asset to leave to your kids? On today's episode, we're going to unpack Ed Slott's warning about inherited IRAs and what you can do to avoid a costly mistake. All right, so let's start out with who is Ed Slott. Ed Slott is a leading expert on IRAs and tax planning. He's a renowned CPA. He had a show on PBS for years, and he's a prolific author and a speaker. And his message is IRAs were great for building wealth, but now they're terrible for passing it on. And that really has to do with some law changes. And really, it's called the Secure Act. And Secure Act 2.0 that just came into play within the last 12 months. And it really came down to there was this wonderful thing called the Stretch IRA provision, and it is gone. And it's been replaced with what we call the 10-year rule. And what it's done is instead of a child, say a child that inherited your IRA, they could stretch it out over their lifetime. And what means they could just drip out that taxable income a little bit at a time, stretch out over their lifetime over multiple tax returns. And the IRS didn't like that. So they closed what they call that loophole. And now heirs must empty that inherited IRA out within 10 years. Not only that, they have to take a required minimum distribution every year, but by the 10th year, it's got to be emptied out. So you've only got 10 1040s or 10 tax returns to do that. So this could lead to very large, massive tax bills, especially for heirs that are in their peak earning years. So, an example, if someone inherits $1 million IRA and you're left to a 45-year-old child, that could be taxed at the highest bracket. Let's say they're an attorney or a physician or a high-income business owner, and making $300,000 per year, and they have to take out $100,000 per year. That's an extra $100,000 per year in ordinary income, taxed at the highest rate. So that's what Ed Slott is talking about when they're an awful thing for a child to inherit. Taking this a little further, why are they now burdened heirs? Again, they're taxed as ordinary income. There's no step-up basis. There's no capital gains treatment. Step-up basis, real estate, brokerage accounts. If you've inherited those from people, they may have bought something for $10. It's worth $100 when you receive it. Well, there's a step up to the new basis of 100 when you receive it. Now you only pay taxes on growth above the the $100 value. That does not happen. There's no capital gains advantage in an IRA. And there's really a high potential for tax inefficiency, again, for those people that are high income earners, have good assets, that receive this large IRA, which it's great that you're receiving this behest, but it could wreak havoc for a 10-year period, depending on your tax situation. What Ed Slott talks about, and we talk about in our firm, is that there's potentially a better alternative, and that's a Roth IRA. And they're especially better for a legacy tool. And why is that? Because Roth IRAs, they also follow the 10-year rule, but the withdrawals, when you take them out, those are tax-free. Again, and there's no required minimum distributions during your lifetime as the owner. And Roths offer tax-free legacy planning, meaning, when that is inherited, there is not a tax liability. Now, they have to have that emptied out over a 10-year period, or at the end of the 10-year period. But what we counsel a lot of our clients to do is, if you're going to leave that asset as a legacy asset, have that discussion either with them directly or have us do that discussion with the beneficiaries, is we want to let that grow inside that tax-free wrapper and get as large as possible before we empty it out on the back end. Because once we empty it out, we can get all of that money out tax-free. But when we reinvest, the money you took out is always going to be your basis. So there won't be any taxation on that, but it will be taxed going forward on the growth. So that's where people say, hey, well, I've been saving this big in this IRA or my 401k. I can't contribute to it. What should I do? That's where we employ strategic Roth conversions. Again, while tax rates are relatively low, and we manage those tax brackets going forward to figure out how much can we move from your tax deferred to the tax-free bucket. Can we pay the toll to get it over there, knowing that tax rates are historically low? and we've talked about it many times on this show, that we feel tax rates are probably going to be higher in the future. Now, I'd love to hear your comments in the section down below. Do you believe that the federal government's appetite for revenue is going to go up or down over time? My thought process is it's probably going to go up just because of the unfunded liabilities. Now, I know there's a lot of things going on with the federal budgets. We're trying to cut taxes, trying to look for fraud and waste. Again, we're taking a very broad axe approach to it. I hope we get more to a scalpel approach at some point. But I do think tax rates are more than likely going to go up in the future just based on math.
Is your retirement strategy working as hard as you are? Get the answers you deserve with Elevated Retirement Group's information-packed toolkit. Inside, you'll get Scott's book, Exceptional Retirement, along with essential insights covering the 5 key areas of retirement planning, strategies to keep more of your hard-earned money, and how to choose your winning retirement team. Take control of your retirement today. Click the link in today's show description to claim your toolkit at no cost to you.
So what can you do about this? If you've got this large IRA, we talked in our last episode, had a gentleman that came in or watched the show, had over a $5 million IRA and said, oh my gosh, I've already got it in here. What do I do? I said, hey, don't panic. There's a list of things we can look at, a list of strategies. Let's see which one of those or which those grouped together makes the most sense to mitigate the taxation. So again, we may do a strategic Roth rollout, meaning taking parts of your IRA, moving it to a Roth, managing your tax brackets. We may do a donor advised fund if you are really looking at charitably inclined. So we can look at a donor advised fund or a DAF. So if you're charitably inclined, we may do that prior to 70.5. Because once you reach 70.5, there's a wonderful thing called a qualified charitable distribution or a QCD. We may want to employ those. We may want to spend your IRA assets first during retirement and pay as little tax as possible, spend those down and leave those tax-free assets for the beneficiaries. Use other assets like life insurance or your brokerage account for legacy purposes. So again, there's no one size fits all solution. It's going to be a series of strategies we put together and ultimately to give you the best possible outcome that you can to get the closest to the end goal. So again, Ed Slott, he's a great marketer. He's a great educator. His message is about strategy, not fear. His message is look for a professional that understands the tax code, understands the IRA rules, which they are complex. And that's one thing about Elevated Retirement Group. We've surrounded ourselves and built a team of people, whether CFPs, certified financial professionals, CPAs, tax preparers, all those professionals, estate planning attorneys, all working together to say, we're specialists looking at those different areas. And we want to make sure that you understand that your legacy deserves thoughtful tax planning, thoughtful, comprehensive planning. So again, avoid turning your IRA into your heirs' biggest tax problem. And how do you do that? I encourage you to either reach out to someone, work with someone that's a professional in this, as a specialist in this area. If you reach out to us, we have what's called a 15-minute discovery Zoom or a phone call. It's 15 minutes. There's free consultation, no pressure. It's to find out where are you in your current situation? What have you done in the past? We have a 1 through 10 quiz that we walk through. That helps you identify, do you really need help? Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 is I have no plan at all. 8, 9, or 10, I'm doing great. We'll go through that process and determine where you feel you are. And then we'll let you know if we feel, hey, you're actually right on track where you are. Hey, you actually may be better off than you think, or worst case, you're worse off. The positive thing is you understand where you are, and more importantly is where do you go next? And that's when we sit down again, go through a more comprehensive conversation. Again, those are complimentary with no pressure at all. So again, what's your biggest concern when it comes to leaving money to your heirs? That's what we can discuss in our discovery session. I appreciate you watching today's episode and look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.
Are you on the path to retirement but feel uncertain about your direction? Don't let myths and misconceptions cloud your journey. Before stepping into a lengthy retirement, gain clarity and confidence with a complimentary financial review. Schedule a conversation with Scott Dugan. It's completely free. Just click the link in the description below or call us at 913-393-4724. Let's start a conversation about what's most important to you as you plan for a successful retirement.
This video has been prepared for educational and marketing purposes only. The information in this video is general in nature, does not constitute personalized investment advice, and does not provide a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. All investments involve risk, and different types of investments involve varying degrees of risk. There can be no assurance that any specific investment strategy will be profitable or suitable to you. Additionally, although information presented in this video is believed to be factual and up to date, we do not guarantee its accuracy. You should consult an attorney or tax professional regarding your specific legal or tax situation and should consult a professional advisor before implementing any of the strategies mentioned in this video. Investment advisory services are offered through Elevated Capital Advisors LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor affiliated with Elevated Retirement Group LLC. Registration as an investment advisor does not constitute an endorsement of Elevated Capital Advisors LLC by securities regulators, nor does it indicate that the firm has attained a particular level of skill or ability. Insurance advice and products may be offered by a third-party insurance producer, which may be affiliated with Elevated Retirement Group LLC and Elevated Capital Advisors LLC. Walter Storholt and Third Wheel Media LLC receive compensation for their assistance in preparing and hosting this video.